still popping. As soon as you let off the throttle, she pops. Hear that? Did it again. Alright, so I suspect it's lean. Seems like it's not getting enough fuel anyway. You feel that? I mean, you can't feel that. I feel that. Yeah, she's breaking up at top. It's got to be the pilot. I mean, it's got to be the main jet. The seller told me this bike came from Colorado. So I bet you the main jet is smaller than usual, because in Colorado obviously they got all the elevation, the air is thin. Big old pop. Let's clean the carburetor. Let's see about changing the jet size. Alright, meet you in the garage. Gonna remove the carburetor from this side. We'll start with the choke cable. Engine's still a little warm, but not hot. Alright, choke cable is off. Also from this side, let's loosen the intake manifold. This carburetor's got a dual carb body. It's a single carb, one float bowl, but it's got a slow side and a main side. We'll also loosen the air boot. I don't know if I have to take the air box off yet. From this side, I'm going to loosen hopefully just the top here. I felt it free up. I like the way the throttle is set, so I don't want to mess with the setting here too much, but it's got to be loose or it won't come out. Let's see here. All the way up. Alright, just enough space, perfect. So this throttle has a return cable also. Pretty cool on these bigger bikes. You don't get stuck open, you just turn the throttle and it'll pull the butterfly closed. A little tricky to get these cable ends out. Might be easier when the carb is loose, so let's free up the top here. I don't think there's a way to change the main jet without taking the whole carburetor off, but I also would like to get in there and make sure everything's clean anyway. Make sure it's dialed. Okay, got that one free. Now let's loosen up these screws. For the vacuum side, so here you can see a diaphragm in here works on this vacuum line, and then that's how the carburetor knows, because the other side is the one that's hooked up to the throttle cables. Pretty interesting design here. Let's loosen up this intake boot. Carbs can be a chore. Let's put that in the bottom for now, so we don't lose the screw. Now we know this is totally out of play. Let's go ahead and do the same on the other side. Alright, this side free. Okay, got both free. Just a little too long. So I just pulled the air boots out. They don't even screw in on the other side, they just kind of pop in. They're still really good rubber, so no worries. Alright, carb is free. Now which side does it come out? Okay, now we can probably get the cable off. And then the top cable, which is a little more difficult. If you turn the throttle a little bit, it gives you an angle. Alright, both cables off. Now the carb should drop, and it does. Tight. But that's okay, as long as it comes off. A little tight's fine. There we go. Crazy looking carb, huh? Very interesting. So I could definitely just take the bowl off and likely change the main jet from in here. However, I'd like to go through the whole thing, so I'm gonna have to remove these four, this little tube that connects the two carb bodies, these two here in the front, and then I should be able to separate them, remove whatever, move this tube from here, and that should be it. This other crossover tube. So there's quite a few things holding these two together. I think it's easiest to break everything free while it's still together. So instead of just removing this and having things kind of shift around, I'm going to try and break everything free first. Man. Okay, a little bit of body weight. All right. Got all 6 of those free. Make sure we keep all the pieces organized. All right, so it looks like these take the same size. That's good. Fuel mixture screw right there. Everything on here is caked. Cool. So all these screws look exactly the same. We've got this end off, and let's pull this end off. It's a little chewed up. Okay, they have separated. A little slide in there. Vacuum operated. A little butterfly. Alright, let's check out the diaphragm. Oh, there's a jet right here. Interesting. Anything? Okay. Alright, both those screws are the same length. Let's see what we got going in here. Let's see. I have to remove this. Okay. Not much in there. Really long spring. And the slide. It's all metal. Very interesting. I was expecting like a rubber diaphragm up here. Got the needle. Looks like maybe you could adjust the position of the needle here. It's still rubbery. Not going to mess with that too much. This side's pretty simple. Yeah. So whatever it is, see in there? When you turn it, that little notch in there is turning. It doesn't seem to be coming in and out, so it was straight up and down. Put it back to straight up and down. Let's take a look at this. It's definitely a little jet. The O-ring seems rubbery still. A little dirty. Passageway is clear. Really tiny. We'll still run that through the cleaner. And that passageway is obviously wide open. Kind of like a little half carburetor. Now let's check out the main carb. Start by looking in the bowl. This is where I'm most interested anyway. Seems like maybe someone's been in here more recently. These are a little easier to free up. Alright, all 3 of those loosen up pretty easy. Let's get the drain tube off. I don't like just pulling on this stuff. Like maybe a little bit of pushing. Alright, set this aside. No need to run that through the cleaner. Now it looks like a regular carb. Pretty small for a 600, obviously. Got the other side. Here we go. Nice and clean. Look at that. Let's see what size this jet is. I suspect this jet is small. It's clear. It's probably just some aftermarket jet. Some Chinese jet, doesn't have the number stamped on it. I do have a jet that I don't think is correct size either. I mean, can you tell the difference between that? This is a 135, and this jet is too big. So I got the book out, and here we can see at the top, XT600 carburetors, and then jet sizes, main jet 125, secondary jet 130. So this is the main jet in the secondary carb, and it says 125. Secondary carb, it should be 130, and we got a 125. So it is a little small. And the primary carb 125, I bet you that one isn't. So I do have a 135, but that's going to be way too big. So I'm going to have to order up proper size jets, because I definitely don't have anything like this. Keep digging through this, see if anything else needs ordered or if everything else looks good. We'll still run this through the ultrasonic cleaner, get everything cleaned up, put back together as much as possible. The needle's perfect. Tip is still rubbery. Looks good. Get the emulsion tube out of here. Those all look clear. If this was partially clogged, that could have been some of the reason here. Gasket looks good. All right, pilot. Yeah, it's clear. This one's starting to strip. Is it that necessary to get out? Probably not. Man, I can't get it. Oh, wow, that was on there. You can't press it out. So I'll just leave that in there. Let's check the fuel screw. 1/2, 1, 1 1/4, 1 1/4. Tip still looks good. Let's get all this in the ultrasonic cleaner. One thing I've learned with the ultrasonic cleaner is all the dirt and everything stays in the cleaner, and it does a really good job, but you might as well brush off some of this thick dirt and dust and whatever before you run it, because there's just going to be that much less stuff inside the liquid, and I find it easier afterwards to clean everything up if you just give it a quick brush real quick. Everything came out of the ultrasonic cleaner, looking a lot cleaner, as I would expect, but not perfect. So I'll be cleaning it out with a little bit of carb cleaner and then the air compressor, and get it all reassembled. And we'll put it back on the bike. I also cleaned off the boots. It's looking good. Pretty satisfied. I kept all this stuff from going through the cleaner because the rubber swells with the heat and water. I don't want any of the stuff swelling up. Let's get this stuff back together. Looks like I made an error. You can see this bracket is turned differently. So that bracket's preventing carb from fitting on the manifold. So I'm going to take this off, flip it around. And that gives room for the manifold. Yeah, this gives you something to push on. Well, that was a lot easier. Let's check it. There's no play. Yeah. There we go. Nice. Next up on the boot, you've got an R right there for the right. So just had a bite to eat. In and out, good stuff. Did it! It's exactly 32 miles from my garage to here. So we came here for a very specific reason. I need to open her up and I need to turn off while we're at max throttle, coast to a stop, and check the spark plug. We've been in the sun for a bit. This is the tallest thing out here. Oh, yes. I like the size of the foot on this motorcycle's kickstand. That is a nice size foot. I'm not ever worried about it. Not that I've been in the sand much, but even in the yard. Time for the main event. So I came out here to test the secondary carb. Primary carb is working fine. Test is to hold the throttle wide open, ride for a bit, and then turn off the bike and coast to a stop, pull out the spark plug, and check it. And that should tell us if we're running lean or running rich, or give us some kind of information about what we're dealing with here. The plug on this bike is a little buried in there, and there's normally this fin which directs airflow to the engine. Here you see one on this side, but you can't get the spark plug off. So I pulled it before I left to make this process easier. It's a brand new plug. I put it in yesterday, the day before. Within the last couple of days, the only real riding I've done was today to get here. So however it looks is however it's been running today. This bike kicks over so easy. All right, let's check it. Here we go. Didn't break up at all. Huh, that's weird. That's the first time that I've ever had it not just break up like crazy. Wow. I did not expect that. You gotta like have all these joints and extensions and all this stuff in order to get the socket down in there. It's in such an awkward place. What is that? Is that brown or is that too white? If anything, it looks a little lean, right? That doesn't look rich. It's hard to tell because it's brand new. I don't know, that doesn't really look white. Let's see. The spark plug boot has a little piece on it. All right, let's see. Yeah, that looks a little white, right? It's definitely not black. It's a brand new plug though, it makes it hard to tell. Wow, I did not expect it to just not break up. I got all the way up to 75 and it didn't break up at all. So what I'm gonna do, it could be a little lean, and maybe that's what the pop is coming from, a little bit of leanness. I'm going to turn the fuel mixture screw out, because maybe that's where we're lean, because the secondary carb just went. I'm left-handed, but for some reason stuff like this is just better right-handed. Maybe it's because of the side of the bike, actually. Left-handed, your hand is kind of in there, awkward. Yeah, because when you're left-handed, you gotta, like, yeah. Anyway. Okay. We did it. So, get the boot back on. All right, now we're at 2.5. Yeah, look at this spot. Isn't this cool? We got one person camping over there on the edge. No one else. Let's just ride it. Let's hit it full throttle. Let's see if we hit full throttle quicker if we can't get it to break up some. Because I kind of rolled it on. So if I rolled it on and it worked fine, and if I go quick and it doesn't, that makes me think it's lean, which the plug looked like, if anything, it was lean. Still popping. All right, let's see what happens. You gotta watch out for pallets, because pallets usually mean pallet fires, and pallet fires usually mean nails. See, they're hung up good. Sand's a lot deeper on this road than the one I came in on. I don't know, is this the road? Good thing we got a little bit of extra time. It's not like you could get lost. I mean, the mountain, I see a truck over there. That's gotta be where we're headed. One and a half. So 1.5 is still within spec. It's between 1 and 3 turns. All right, so 1.5. Let's see how she runs now. Whoop. That's pretty sweet. The train just goes off forever in either direction. already. Honestly, that seemed way better. Like we got power. That was the best it's ever been. Good about where we're at right now. I'm feeling pretty good about how the carb's responding now. There's a tiny little breakup. It's not a two-stroke where you're wide open the whole time. You kind of have to be a little better of a rider with shifting, I guess. Let me know if my shifting technique is the issue here or if there's still some problem. It should never break up under any circumstance. I'm new to a primary, secondary carb, and also I'm not super experienced on 4-strokes. So that said, let me know what you think. You guys always help me out so much, so please, let's get this thing dialed perfectly. But for now, we're doing really good. Now I'm gonna head home. It's 7 o'clock, and I got enough time to get home before dark still. Yep, that's it for the battery. We're at 1%. So cool. Thanks. We're at 1% battery. Camera's about to die. C'est la vie. Time to pack it up and go home. But next time I'm gonna get this thing. We'll do a camping trip or something. I'm getting ready for that. I think that might be the next step. So stick for that. Later.